What's going on, guys? It's Byron here from ETA Wheels, and we're going to do something a little bit different. So I'm in the process of cleaning out my vents. I've already done that one. This one you can see I still have to do a little bit. Kind of see. It's got some buildup over the last year or so. This is what it looks like clean. This is what it looks like at the moment. So we want to clear all of this out. And then I got to thinking, right? We've talked about ceramic coatings on our channel. And we've talked about how ceramic can provide a sacrificial layer. And the sacrificial layer can potentially make it easier to clean in the future. So I found this. This is a Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Ceramic Wet Wax. So what we're going to do once we get these clean and dry is we're going to go ahead and apply 2 coats to these vents, and we're just going to see if it makes it easier to clean them in a month, 2 months, 3 months from now. This right here on this one, this is the intake vent, not the, this is the exhaust vent. So this is the air conditioning comes out here and it pulls air into the air conditioner from there. So this is, I'd say, about 9 months worth of buildup. And then this is, well, you can't tell anymore, but it's clean. So we're going to clean these. We're going to bleach them, make sure that everything's nice and sterile. And then we're going to go ahead and dry it off. And then we're going to hit it with that ceramic spray stuff and see if it actually does anything, right? Everybody does this. Oh, well, I can go outside and test it on the car or something like that. I want to see if ceramic can actually improve your everyday life. Let's see. Maybe it will. So we'll be back in a bit after I do some more cleaning. In case you're wondering, I'll show you the back. Yeah, you can kind of see. That's a little funky in there, right? So we'll go ahead. I mean, this is your cooking grease. This is everything else, right? And you breathe this. So you want to keep these things clean regularly. In case you're wondering how it goes in and out, there's just 2 little springs there and there. Push in on that side, line it up, and the springs will push it back into position. You can kind of see some of the junk that came off of that while I was cleaning it. I actually got the idea to do this video while I was cleaning out my kitchen vents, and I was like, you know, what the hell? Let's try it. Let's try it and see. So we're going to apply this hybrid ceramic to these air conditioning vents. We're going to let it cure up, and let's see what happens. See you in a bit. Alrighty, guys, so this is what it looks like. This is my small ones that go here and here, okay? So I just wanted to show you, that's what those look like. Now, I've never actually cleaned these, so I'm a little embarrassed to show you, but I'm going to show you anyway. So this is just a straight open vent that goes up into the ceiling, and this, I'm assuming, has forced air coming from the air conditioner. So this one and this one are where the air comes from the air conditioner into the room. And then these are just your return vents, if you will. So we're going to go ahead and do these also. Why not? Let's check it out. So this is Byron. We'll be back. Alrighty, guys, so as you can see, these are fairly clean. There's a little bit of gunk in there that just will not come out. I can't get my fingers physically in there to do it. So I've hit it with a little bit of this enamel cleaner, which seems to be working pretty good. This stuff doesn't work worth the darn on a barbecue grill, but it does seem to be breaking it down, as you can see here. We're just letting it little spray soak, and it's getting the job done. You can see there's just a couple little areas, really. It's not super dirty at this point now, but it's getting the job done. I don't have a whole lot of this stuff left. I actually took almost 3 bottles of that stuff to do my barbecue grill, and it barely put a dent in it. So anyway, moving on. Seems to be working quite well for this. Now this is a citrus-based cleaner for you health-minded freaks that are out there. This is laboratory-produced citrus. It doesn't make it safe for you or your skin. I'm keeping the contact minimal. And I'm going to go wash my hands immediately after this. The other thing you need to do is change it so you're not spraying it on the same angle, because you want to get full coverage. And we're just going to let this soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. And we're going to come back and rinse it all off. Get a little extra in there. And we'll be back. Alrighty guys, and we're back. So I just want to show you. They all look about the same now. Yeah, they're still, I mean, back tucked in those little corners. There's not a whole lot you can really do about that. I mean, let's be realistic. But it's clean. I got them all out here now. Just waiting on them to dry out. So we'll be back in an hour or so, and then we'll get to coating these. The last step after I used just basically straight bleach, and then let it soak, and then rinsed it off. Then I used a barbecue grill or the citrus cleaner, let it soak, rinsed it off, and then the final step was I just wiped everything down with soap and water, just a regular old dish soap and a microfiber towel, and just kind of went to town, and everything came easily at that point off of it. So I'm pretty confident in how clean they are. They're not perfect. They're never going to get perfect. The only way to get it perfect is to just go out and buy another set, and I'm not going to do that. So once these are dry, we're going to give everything a isopropyl alcohol wipe down just to ensure that we have the best possible adhesion, and then we're going to apply it and see what happens. So we'll be back. Alrighty guys, so now we have these fully dried out. And I just wanted to put a contrast against a black background here so you can kind of see just how clean they are compared to when we started. And we're going to go ahead, do an isopropyl alcohol wipe down, and then we're going to go ahead and apply that ceramic coating. This is either going to be genius or really stupid or somewhere in between. And to be honest, I'm kind of expecting somewhere in between. Let's find out. So what's going on, guys? We're going to talk a little bit about this stuff here. All right. This is Turtle Wax Hybrid Solution, amazing shine and durability in one step. This is the ceramic wet wax. Wash car and rinse. Shake product well. While exterior is wet, apply 2 sprays per panel. Dry and shine at the same time with a clean microfiber drying towel. And then you're supposed to use the 3-in-1 detailer and the Hybrid Solution ceramic wash to maintain the shine and protection. So, do I believe that this is going to give you the same durability as a professional grade SiO2 or graphene coating? No, I don't. What we are going to do is test it on these air conditioning vents. These are a pain in the butt to clean, and theoretically, if there's a ceramic coating, or any kind of coating actually, it'll help keep the dirt and crap from sticking to this, which means I'll have to do less work overall. So I'll be right back and we'll get this set up. And we're back. So this is my junk towel This is what I use whenever I do a project. And I'm going to show you on the small vent. We have 4 vents total, 2 large and 2 small. And I'm going to show you on the small vent. So to make sure that we have this thing completely degreased, we've already hit it with soap and water. We've already hit it with some degreaser and stuff like that. These are as clean as I can possibly make them with the tools that I have available. This is isopropyl alcohol, 99%. What we're gonna do, so as I pop the safety cap out here, that's why we come prepared for class. All right, come on. Being careful, of course, not to stab yourself. This should be far enough, I can get it, there we go. So we're gonna remove the cap, and we're just gonna fill up a small vessel, if you will. In this case, I'm just using the cap. Came with the isopropyl alcohol. Got a little cotton pad, and we're just gonna give everything a good wipe with the alcohol. Make sure there's no grease or residue or anything left behind that might cause this stuff not to stick. Now, if you're handling 99% isopropyl alcohol, make sure you do it in a fairly well ventilated room. You can't see it on camera, but I've got my windows open. I actually have a very nice cross breeze blowing through my house right now. And second, you're going to want to wear some type of like a nitrile glove, because 99% alcohol is an industrial cleaning chemical. So it's not very good for you. But it's also a wonderful, wonderful surface prep and degrease. So I'm just kind of getting onto all the surfaces where I'm going to apply this. We're going to go ahead and let that dry. We're going to grab our second one. Do the same. And there's a little bit of gunk that this is actually pulling off. I can feel it. I can feel the difference in it. So this is probably a very good idea. Do I need to do this? No. And if you're doing this on your car, I mean, I would personally do it, but that's me. I don't really think that this is going to perform the same way as a traditional coating. But you know what? Let's give this thing the best possible chance of success. That's what I say. I'm going to adjust you just a little bit here. There, that's better. There we go. So we're just giving it a good wipe. Remember guys, this is a household vent. I'm not trying to get super sciencey on it, but it's just a household vent. And this isopropyl is getting that last little bit of crud out that I couldn't get out, scrubbing it with soap and water. And even when I used the citrusy barbecue cleaner, it still left a little bit of crud behind. Well, this is getting rid of that last little bit of crud. And I don't know how well you guys can see that, but this here cotton pad is pretty much just about reached its limit. Trying to get it inside to these other areas where the stuff was really stuck in. There we go. This is not the easiest to access. I mean, I'm sure there's a better way to do it than what I'm doing right now. I just don't know what it is. So I wanted to give this stuff a whirl. And I'm not about to go put this over my freshly installed graphene coating on my Cadillac. So I figured, what the heck? Let's give it a little test on these vents. And this portion of the video will actually be exclusive to the ETA Wheels channel. And the first part of this, where I'm doing all the cleaning and stuff, that's actually going to go onto the ETA kitchen as well, because everybody should have a clean place to cook. This is Life Basics 101, guys. You gotta have everything that you saw on this is stuff that you breathe in, whether you know it or not. So it makes sense to get as much of it gone as possible and to keep it as clean as possible. But you know, there's also a common sense limit. You're not going to do this every single month. If you do, awesome. But I don't. Usually I've found every couple of months works just fine. And I actually had let this build up for about 9 months, where you saw it in these videos. And it had been staying clean all the way up until about 2 months ago when summer hit. And I think that's just the difference in the humidity. You know, we're here in Abu Dhabi and it is extraordinarily humid, to say the least. So, but you can see this alcohol is really getting that last little bit of grease out. Now, let's say we get something even halfway comparable to a traditional ceramic. You're going to want it to bond as fiercely and as strongly as is possible with the metal and the paint, right? So if you're doing this on a car and you're using like a traditional graphene or ceramic coating, you're going to have to degrease it. You're going to have to do all your prep work anyway. Well, that's what we're doing now. We're doing the prep work. So this one is done. It's got a little bit in here left. And I got this cotton pad is pretty much self-destructed at this point. Now this one was actually fairly clean overall. It wasn't too bad. But there's still some little spots where, you know, you just, as a human, you just can't really get in there very well. Sometimes changing the angle helps so you can see it a little better. There we go. That was a nice little chunk of grease I got out of there. Grease or whatever the heck that was. There we go. So this one's good. Set that over there to dry. I'm going to use a little bit more. Now again, all of this is to give this the best possible chance for this experiment. So we want to try to get the best possible bond between whatever that is and the surface. Now I guarantee you it was never designed to be used in an air conditioning vent inside your house, but that's okay. I've seen videos where people have put like ceramic coating on their shoes and all kinds of other stuff. So I figured, you know, what the heck, let's give it a try and let's see what happens, and maybe it can make my everyday life a little bit easier. And maybe it won't. I mean, we don't really know, because I've never seen anybody treat an air conditioning vent with a ceramic coating before. But we're going to try that now. So you saw it here first. ETA wheels. You know what? Maybe I will put it on ETA Kitchen. So you saw it here first on ETA Wheels and ETA Kitchen. Both of my channels. Mr. Panda, Mr. Llama, if you're watching, remember, whenever you use chemicals, always practice safety. Safety first. Now obviously I'm not worried about splashing, so I'm not wearing goggles at the moment. But I am worried about what isopropyl alcohol will do to my body as a whole. So if it's just a quick contact, it's a fairly minimal risk, but because I'm doing something intense like scrubbing, I'm going to want to wear protection, and plus I'm not entirely sure of the chemical makeup of this, so I'm pretty sure I don't want it on my skin. That's what I'm sure of. So again, I'm going to continue wearing nitrile gloves while I do the rest of this experiment. And let's see, you know, maybe it will. Maybe it'll keep a slick surface and then the dirt just doesn't build up. And if the dirt doesn't build up here in the vent, then that means it'll come out on the floor, and then I can just, you know, keep it with my twice a week mopping and sweeping and stuff like that. All my normal maintenance and cleaning routine. There we go. Much better. All right, guys, I'm gonna call this prepped. Just have one little area there, one little area here on the side. I don't even know how many years old these vents are, guys. These predate my renting this apartment, so I don't even know how old these things really are. They could be 10 years old, they could be 4 years old, they could be 3 years old. I don't know. I've been here for just a little over 1 year as it is. So, let's do this. Cool, 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 cool. Getting all that crap out of there now. There's still a little chunk of it that I don't see there's any way to physically get in there and get it. But I'm trying. I don't know how much of that you can actually see what I'm scrubbing here, but I'm trying. I'm giving it a legitimate effort. All right. So I'm going to call that done. Go ahead and put this back in there. Reinstall the cap. Move that out of the way. So I'm thinking what we're going to do here, I'm going to try this on one of the small panels first, just because I think it'll be a whole heck of a lot easier. Ooh, wow, hold up. Yeah, that one's fine. Okay. I just saw a big chunk here that I missed. I don't know if that's going to come out on camera or not, but I'll go ahead and see if we can make that a little less greasy, I guess. Maybe I can get my pinky in there, get some pressure on it. Okay, all right. Okay, cool. It's breaking up. It's coming off now. A little bit of crud. Not that one. We're gonna use this one. Just gonna try to hit this side of it with a microfiber and see how much of that comes off. Got a good view. If we're lucky. Yep, it's coming off. This is a very old microfiber, by the way. I would never actually use this for cleaning anything on a car. But just because you're done cleaning your car stuff doesn't mean you can't clean stuff like this. So you don't have to waste your microfibers. You can use them for other projects once you're done polishing and maintaining your babies. There we go. A little bit there. A little bit is just kind of resisting it, so let's increase the pressure just a hair. There we go. These are very thin. I don't know if this is steel. I don't know if this is aluminum. I don't know what it is. I found another little spot here that I apparently missed, so we're going to go ahead and address that now. But we here at ETA, we show you our successes and our failures. We're not the TikTok life hack guys. We're going to show you and tell you if it actually works. So when I update this video, probably towards the end of August, it's currently towards the end of June, we're going to check and see if I've had any more buildup or if this has eliminated that. And if it's eliminated that, then great. That means that there's some theory, or there's some good practical applications. Let me bend this back straight. That means that there might be some practical applications of this outside of the automotive world, right? There we go. All right, clean as a whistle. We're gonna set that over there. And since we've already done all the prep and everything, let's get it. Probably help if I turned the spray on, huh? Actually smells kind of nice. Smells very much like the car wash. When you go through like a touchless car wash, kind of smells like that. I don't know how much of this is going to get picked up on the camera, but I can see that there's definitely something happening here. I know it says 2 sprays per panel. Well, I'm spraying a cotton bud and I'm applying it. Now we're going to hit the outside of this. And yes, I know, for all you detailing dorks, that's not the proper technique to apply it, whatever. There's literally nothing on this. We're experimenting. Leave me alone. This is not a car part. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just do straight lines instead of back and forth and all that other stuff. And let's get a coat in on the back of the center here. Okay. So now it's on and it's installed. Next step. Now granted, I'm supposed to do this wet, so I'm not doing it wet. Right? Apply 2 sprays per panel. Dry and shine at the same time with a clean microfiber towel. Oh wow, okay. This is actually pretty slick now, and I can actually feel it. That's kind of cool. I did not expect that. I mean, I expected something because I am putting a wax on it. But we're not really worried about like a mirror shine on this thing, so we're just gonna buff it like so. That's actually kind of cool though, and it's a pleasant citrusy smell. It's not overpowering like some of the graphene coatings and some of the ceramic coatings. They've got some pretty wicked odor. This is a fairly decent odor. So I'm going to grab another clean cotton bud. You can give it 2 sprays, and we're going to give it another application here. We'll do 2 coats. I don't really know why. It's just what I feel like doing. I feel like if it's going to actually do something, 2 coats should be enough. Now I can feel it. There's definitely something that is happening here on the surface. And I can feel that there's something. I don't know how I would describe it, but there's something happening. There's something bonding. It doesn't feel anything at all like a regular ceramic coating does, or a graphene coating for that matter. Okay. I'm just trying to get it on the areas where the gunk was the worst, and we'll just kind of check this again at the end of summer and see what happens. All right? I'm not expecting miracles, but I'm expecting something. Oh, that is slippery. I don't know if you guys can tell. This is actually pretty slippery now. So it's doing something. I'm just buffing it off here. This is not a car part, so again, I'm not really super duper worried about that. But we're just going to go ahead and buff anything that is still a little bit damp. And so that's the 2 coats, and I'm going to do this for each panel. I can definitely feel something is happening. Here it's a little bit rough, but around the sides it's quite smooth. Let me see if I can't maybe put a little thumb pressure on it, buff that out a little better. It's this is definitely strange. I can feel it on the sides, really. You can feel where it's really bonded in nicely, because it's very, very, very slick. And the same on the back here. It is very, very, very slick. So that's actually kind of cool. On this part, it's a little bit rough, and I think that's just because it's not a totally smooth part, but it is compared to, it is fairly slick, and it's actually getting slicker as it dries. So I'm going to leave this alone and let it dry. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to take them outside and, all right, yeah. So we're just going to do the same for this. We're going to give it a nice little coat. And then we're going to rub it off, and then we're going to do another coat. I don't have that many of these cotton buds left. I do apologize. That's piss poor planning on my part. So I am going to be reusing at least once. And I've got 4 left, so that should take care of the last 2 panels. This is the return vent, so it wasn't particularly bad to begin with. All it is literally just an open vent that opens into the ceiling, and then the air conditioning draws from that, pulls air up into the ceiling through the filter, does its temperature change mojo, and sends it out to the rest of the kitchen. So this one is an actual from the air conditioner to the kitchen vent. This is, like I said, this is just a regular, this is your standard register return. It's nothing fancy. This is really slick though. This one is like really, really, really slick. I'm kind of surprised. So this is cool. I didn't expect it. I mean, I knew it was going to be a little slick because it's a wax product, you know. But I wasn't expecting it to do this and be this slippery. This is really nice. Now granted, I've got my gloves on, but still. And we're going to go ahead and apply the second coat. Now this feels different than the other one does. The other one still feels a little rough through here, so maybe I'm going to come back and hit that part where it still felt rough with a third coat. But I think that would kind of not be fair to the purpose of this experiment. I said I was going to do 2 coats, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to do 2 coats. And this is the second coat going on now. And we're just going to buff it off. So yeah, I know I'm not applying it wet like it says to do, but I really don't think that that's going to matter for these. If I was doing it on a car, I would follow the steps as prescribed on the car. Well, this is really slippery. I'm really shocked at how slick this has become. I did not expect that. I didn't expect it to be this slippery. Now let's go back. This is actually really hard to hold on the back here. Right here it's still rough. See if maybe I can buff that a little more, or maybe it's just a light coating of paint in that area. Because it's smooth here, it's smooth and slick, and then here, you guys should be able to hear that. That's rough compared to here and here. I'm just going to give that a little bit more buffing. Okay, that helped a little. I think that's probably just the nature of the material and the paint. It is really slick here and on the back. And yeah, well, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm going to put another coat on that, but I kind of want to just stick to the experiment, and the experiment is 2 coats. So we're going to keep moving on. Give this 3 little sprays, and we'll give it a nice application. I mean, obviously, you guys have to have a little bit of common sense when you look at this. When you think about this, because this is not a car panel, I don't even know what type of paint they used. This, I'm assuming, is some type of an enamel of some sort. So, we're going to get the back side. We're going to get the back side. I mean, there's definitely something that is happening with this stuff, whether it's just a layer of, you know, wax or whatnot. I don't know. I will say that I don't know enough about SiO2 silicone coatings to say for sure if, I mean, it probably has some in there. I would like to believe that they wouldn't advertise it if it didn't have some type of a silicone coating in there. Add a little bit more. And hopefully this will come out on camera. It is definitely doing something. There is something happening where there was nothing before. And again, I'm not ultimately sure of the wisdom of doing this on an air conditioning vent, but if it helps me keep it cleaner longer, then it was worth it. That's how I look at it. So now we've got the first coat on, and we'll just start buffing it off. That is really slippery now. Holy cow. Sorry, children. I had to catch myself. Yeah, this is definitely doing something. It is definitely doing something. So that's really cool. I went into this with a fairly open mind, but I will admit I was not expecting, I mean, I expected it to be a little bit slick because we're putting a wax product on it, but I did not expect this. The level of slickness that this is giving is actually pretty cool. I know I've said that a bunch in this video, and I'm sorry. I just don't know what else to call it. The lubrosity of the surface. It feels nice. It really does. And it doesn't seem to take this stuff very long to set up. So that's cool. And it doesn't have the stink that a traditional ceramic coating would have. And in case you guys are wondering, no, I am not going to buy an onyx coating kit and do my vents with it. That would just be a waste of money. It'd be a big waste of money. Wait, what am I doing? I'm crazy. All right. Second coat. It feels so good after the first coat. I don't know that the second coat is going to add any protection. But we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to document it, and we're going to document the results of this. So Turtle Wax, if you're watching, not going to lie, I'd love a sponsorship. But be warned, if you sponsor me, I'm going to use your products on all kinds of weird stuff. But I'm available. There we go. Cool. And it's on there pretty decent now. Almost done. There we go. There's not a whole lot I can do to get these center vents just because they're very tight and I have ogre-like hands. So there's only so far in I can shove it. Sorry, children. But I am doing my very level best to get it. So there we go. That completes the second coat. I'm just going to buff any of the remainder off. And this is really, it feels like you're holding a bar of soap. That's actually kind of cool. And I wasn't going to put this on a vehicle, but I think what I'm going to do is contact my neighbor and see if he'll let me take his vehicle, get it detailed real quick, and then give it a little spray coating of this and see what it does on a vehicle. This is really nice. I'm really surprised. I mean, it's turtle wax, so Turtle Wax usually makes some decent stuff. It's not, I know a lot of people are oh, it's not the latest and greatest, it's not this, it's not that, whatever, dude. Turtle Wax was good enough for your dad. It's good enough for your grandpa. It's good enough for a vent. And I've used Turtle Wax on my Cadillac many times. When the color was black, I used their black kit. I was always fairly pleased with the results. So here we are. This was the worst of the worst right here. So, all right, 3 squirts, cotton bud. Let's get it. This really was the nastiest. This was the panel that caused me to do the removal of all of the other panels and do this in-depth cleaning that I had no desire to do on a Saturday morning. But here we are. And then I just got to thinking, man, I had some of that stuff that I found at Ace Hardware, and I was like, man, you know, I want to, which Ace Hardware, I would love a sponsorship. So I was thinking, how can I use this? Because I don't really want to put it on my car. And then as I started cleaning these vents, I started thinking, you know, maybe a coating like this will help. Maybe it'll help reduce my maintenance to keep up on this place. And if that made my life a little easier, then great. And if I could document it, maybe there's somebody else out there that is, you know, 40 years old and tired of scrubbing things like he's 20. Who knows? I'm all about working smarter, not harder. And who knows? Maybe this will help. I sure hope it does. Oops. There we go. Let's get to buffing it. Wow. This is the slickest of them all. And this is also, I noticed that this panel itself is actually a little bit shinier than the others. So maybe it's a newer panel and it's just got a better quality of enamel on it, possibly. It's also slightly different color than the other panels here that I've done. So that kind of leads me to that conclusion. This may be a newer panel. That's probably what it is. It's probably just a newer panel. And so it's still got the gloss layer on that enamel. This is definitely enamel. This is not your regular paint. This is definitely an enamel. Sound like Lenny from Mice and Men. Definitely, George, definitely. But I really wish you guys could feel this, to feel what the difference is. Already at one coat, it's quite a bit slicker. I'm not feeling any major effects from like a fumes or anything crazy like that, so that's a good thing. But again, I've got the cross ventilation going, and I think you guys can even see I've lost a bunch more weight since my last video because I have been a busy little beaver. All right, last time. 3 squirts. So as you can see, I didn't use very much of this at all, and that is actually going on really nice. I can feel it really just, this second coat is just really slippery. So I'm kind of impressed. This is, again, this is not going to be as effective as a standard SiO2 coating. So don't go into this thinking, oh, I'm you know, look, there's a reason that you're going to spend $1,500 to $1,800 on a professional coating. All right. I have not paint corrected this as I don't see the point to doing so. And again, I couldn't even get the tools in here to do this, to correct it if I wanted to. So this is uncorrected household enamel that this is going on to. But I think it's going to do something, and I think it's going to help keep it a little slick, and if it's a little slick, then the dirt won't stick, and if the dirt won't stick, then the next time I go to clean these, it'll be easier. We're just going to buff it off as best we can. There we go. And just on the off chance that this does actually have SiO2 coating, or SiO2, if it has SiO2, that means it's going to have a certain solvent in there to keep it doing what it needs to do. Now, I've read, several people have told me that this stuff does not crystallize, which tells me that if there is SiO2 in here, and I think there may be, whatever they're using for their coating, it's very, very minimal. When you pay a professional and you get a professional product that comes in a vial, you're getting a much better quality product. So this is probably not what you want to use to protect your paint investment. But if your paint is already a few years old and you just don't want to pay for a correction, then I would try it. I would try it because it's not going to ruin your paint. I'm just trying to get the vent straight now. Again, this is very thin metal. We're just trying to get it straight here. Alrighty, Bob's your uncle, guys. So there you have it. This is actually pretty slick. Let's go back to the first one I did, which I can I can barely hold that. it definitely made a difference. This is a far, far rougher finish, but even as rough as this finish is, there's definitely a slick layer to it. So there is something there. This is a little smoother. It's very slick compared to how it was untreated. And this was the rougher of the large vents, and it is fairly smooth and slippery now. And then we have this bad boy, which is slicker than all get out. Now I'm going to go ahead and put these outside, and I'm just going to see. It doesn't mention anything about a cure time. I think I'm just going to go put them outside in the heat, and we'll let it sit for maybe 30 minutes outside, and then we'll go ahead and reinstall these. So we'll be back. Alrighty guys, so I said it was going to be about 30 minutes. It's actually been about 45. And this is really slick and slippery now. So sitting outside in the heat has definitely had a noticeable impact. This one is still a little bit rough, but it was rough when we started it. It's not as rough now. It's definitely better than it was. This is just really slick. I'm very surprised. And this, of course, was the dirtiest one. And it is, I hesitate to use the phrase, slick as glass or something like that. This was the rougher of the larger vents, and it is very nice and very smooth. So hopefully this stuff will have some effect. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the other camera and get these hung. Alrighty guys, so we're going to turn off the air conditioner, and we're going to go ahead and reinstall this. Hopefully you guys will be able to get a good angle. This is the same one where it went. Just putting it right back where it came from. There's two holes here and here. And what you're going to do is line up the springs with those two holes. And then it'll just kind of pop in. You just kind of lever it up. Press the spring. Move it in. And Bob's your uncle. So now we're going to go ahead, move over here, and do the same. Radio. It goes. These little guys are a little bit stiffer to get in there. That's it. That's all she wrote. I realize that some people have never actually seen this done before. So it's always kind of new, or it's always kind of cool to learn something new, right? There we go. So maybe you guys have one of these at home, and you're kind of worried about how am I going to get these in or whatnot. Here we go. Well, now you know. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall the last one, and we're going to call this a day. And I'll update you guys about another month or so. We can see how it did. I think there you go. All right. Now we're going to turn it back on. See, make sure we don't have any rattles. That's what those springs do, is actually, there we go, get you pointed the right way. Those see, I didn't have it locked in. Yep, that's okay. We show you our successes and our failures. That is all good. That is why you triple check everything. That's probably the single hardest thing about doing this. Just gotta make sure. You like this side better. Let's try it this way. There we go. Okay. Looks like I still got a little bit of bending to do. I'll be right back. Alrighty, so it's back in. And it's not rattling. So, we're going to go ahead and end this video here. This is Byron. And you guys have a great rest of your day.